Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Another day, another show by BW Hotelier. Welcome to the 13th show. Well, it is Thursday, the 13th of our newest BW series, the GM Show. This really is the third show of the South, but the 13th episode overall. Coming week, we shall come back with the fourth show of the South before we move on for a very special one to the Northeast. That's still 2 weeks away. Welcome again. The topic for the show today is something which I've had up my sleeve and in my mind. It's very important for a while. Finding the perfect balance, technology and human touch, getting back business efficiencies. It's an interesting show. I'm sure by now you people are all aware that Thursday, 5 p.m. Bhuvanesh Khanna will start speaking. He will take away your 1 hour. It's usually an hour and 15 minutes, if not more. But yes, we bring in some of the finest personalities from the general management of the hospitality industry in India, right? And these stars, in a few years, will occupy hot seats. Well, they already occupy hot seats, but they'll be hotter seats, right? And they will drive our industry into the future. Without much ado, before I introduce the moderator of the show, Maverik Mukherjee, let me introduce in brief all the speakers. Let me begin with my good friend from Bangalore, Reuben Kataria. Reuben Kataria is the general manager of the Leela Hotel and Residences, Bhartiya City, Bengaluru. This is Leela's brand new hotel, right? I am itching to come and savor this hotel, right? And let's see what Mr. Snehadeep has built up. And Ruban is driving and driving hard. He's been the opening GM. Next on the show, we have a very genial and young and happening leader of our industry, the general manager of the ITC WelcomHotel Bengaluru, Amandeep Kaur. Hi, Aman. Let me go on to my family's other city, Chennai, to bring to you Lakshmanan Ramanathan. He's the general manager of the Westin, Chennai, Velachery. Hi, Lakshman. Staying with Chennai, we have Ruban Das. He's the general manager of the Hilton in Chennai. Hi, Ruban.
Hi, namaskar.
Now let's fly across to where the beaches are, to Vizag. We have Ravi Rai. His designation is small, but his portfolio is big. So it's almost a paragraph. Ravi Rai is the cluster general manager for the Novotel Visakhapatnam Varun Beach, Novotel Vijayawada Varun, and the Bheemili Resort. Hi, Ravi. Last but not the least, we have Animesh Bharat, who's the general manager of the Hyatt place in Hyderabad. Hyderabad is special to me. My wife was born there, so I have that corner in my heart. Now let me get down to the moderator of the show, Maverik Mukherjee. Maverik is the GM delegate Novotel and Ibis Bengaluru Outer Ring Road. In addition to that, he is also the general manager delegate for a Kaur in Karnataka and for the Gandhinagar Gift City, overseeing multi-brand hotels, providing strategic direction, mentorship, and guidance to the teams. With over 23 years of experience in the industry and having worked extensively in the Pacific, the depth of Maverik's experience spans across various functions, including pre-opening, business acquisition, sustainability, and operational excellence. With a career spanning 19 years in the Kaur Group, that is a long innings, Maverik. Maverik is the brand champion for Novotel in India and works closely with other Novotel leaders to make the brand deliver the best experience for the guests with unique services and strategies. He is also the acting Hair Planet 21 Sustainability Champion for India, spearheading several sustainability initiatives for the group. I have huge respect for people who are in the Japanese garb, who don't jump jobs, who have a long innings. Kudos, Maverik. Now this is your show, Maverik. Let me hand over the baton to you for you to take ahead. By the way, you have a great background.
Thank you, Bhuvanesh, and good evening, everybody, to all the panelists and all the viewers out there today. It's great to be here, and welcome to another episode of the GM Show. Now, to start off, I would like to speak a little bit more in detail about our panelists here today. And I want to start off with Reuben Kataria, who's the general manager of the Leela Hotel and Residences Bhartiya City, Bengaluru. Reuben's known for his leadership qualities and has a rich and varied experience. He brings in more than 2 decades of experience in managing hotel operations for both business hotels and luxury resorts in India and overseas. His professional experience in working with leading global chains includes the Oberoi, Hyatt, and Marriott International. Prior to joining Leela Hotels, Ruben was the general manager at the JW Marriott Bengaluru. Currently, he oversees the complete pre-opening strategy, operations, and management of the hotel, convention center, and residences, and guides the hotel's senior leadership team with his vision. Next up is Amandeep Kaur, and I'm delighted to introduce her as the general manager of WelcomHotel by ITC Hotels Bengaluru. Amandeep took charge of ITC WelcomHotel Bengaluru as the general manager in June 2021. An alumna of Welcome Group Management Institute, she started her career at ITC Grand Central Mumbai as a member of the pre-opening team. She then moved on to ITC Sonar Kolkata and Sheraton New Delhi as a part of the housekeeping team. Amandeep played a pivotal role in the opening of the largest hotel in the chain, ITC Grand Chola Chennai, and thereafter joined as executive housekeeper at ITC Grand Barat, Gurgaon. She subsequently moved to ITC Gardenia, Bangalore in the capacity of executive housekeeper and was promoted to the position of resident manager within a year. That's awesome, just well done, Amandeep. Next up, I'm happy to introduce Lakshmanan Ramanathan, general manager of the Westin Chennai Velachery. Lakshmanan began his career with the Oberoi Rajvilas Jaipur. He has been with the Marriott Group since 2001. Prior to joining the Westin Chennai Velachery, he was working with Courtyard by Marriott Kochi as general manager. During his tenure of 20 plus years with the Marriott brand, he has worked in various properties across Mumbai, Bengaluru, Goa, Kochi, and Chennai, and successfully launched the first JW Marriott brand in South India. Lakshmana takes pride in being recognized as a pre-opening and project specialist. He was also a board member of the Rooms Advisory Board for Marriott International in Asia Pac, and was actively involved in rooms operations initiatives from Marriott International headquarters in Bethesda. Coming up next is Ruben Das, who happens to be a former colleague of mine, who is also the general manager of Hilton Chennai, a seasoned hospitality professional with over 17 years of extensive and enriching experience, which includes assignments in different cities across India, in business hotels, luxury resorts, and convention centers in international brands like Hyatt and Kaur. Ruben took charge as general manager of Hilton Chennai in May 2019. His approach to business is leading from the front and using every opportunity to learn. For demonstrating the highest levels of quality and customer relationship management, Ruben was presented with Leader of the Year Asia Pacific Brand Award for 2018. Ravi Rai, Cluster General Manager, Novotel Visakhapatnam, Varun Beach, Novotel Vijayawada, Varun, and the Bheemili Resort managed by Kaur. An experienced hotelier with 18 years of expertise in the industry, including a notable career as general manager. He holds specialization in hotel operations with an avid interest in food and beverage. In his leadership role at these properties, Ravi leads the operations for the two leisure hotels along with a wellness resort. Described as an industrious, dynamic professional by his colleagues, Ravi worked his way up the ladder in a short span of time. And I must say, having worked with Ravi, it's been outstanding to watch his growth over the years. Next is Animesh Bharat, General Manager at Hyatt Place, Hyderabad, Banjara Hills. Animesh holds more than 20 years of expertise in the hotel industry to his portfolio. He has worked with several brands in the past, like Starwood Hotels, and has been associated with Marriott International for more than a decade. His expertise lies in market strategy and revenue analysis, which combines with him being a skilled food and beverage enthusiast. He's known for his successful leadership through empowering the team and developing efficient strategies to achieve the aims and goals of his organization. We are talking today about finding the perfect balance between technology and the human touch and getting back business efficiencies. And I think this is particularly important being still going through a pandemic phase across our business, not just here in India, but also across the world. Over to you, Bhuvanesh.
Technology is all pervading. It is here to stay. Technology is for the convenience of the guests, for the skipper of the show, and that's the general manager of a hotel, and the industry per se. But the hospitality industry is all about human touch, about relationships. We cannot let technology drive across all aspects of a hotel. The human touch has to be there. The challenge is now to find a fine balance. Where and what and how much? Where do you draw the lines? AI is going to come in. In fact, it's already started pervading our lives.
Right.
But there's no taking away from humans that human touch. We must debate this. We must discuss this rather than let it lie with technology providers and decision makers who do not interface with the consumer, with the guest, with our client. They all come for vacations. They all come for serious business. They make the hotel their home for the days of stay. So let us debate this. Let me begin with you, Maverik. Right? Let me shoot the first one at you. Cutting edge technology is critical in customer experience, especially in the current scenario. At the same time, human touch, like I said, is equally important to create an exceptional experience. How should we maintain the balance between them? And what are the best practices that you suggest for getting the right balance?
Thank you, Bhuvanesh. I think that's a great question. Look, keeping the balance between technology, innovation, and creating an unforgettable experience for our guests is a challenging issue, whether we like it or not. I think the question to ask ourselves first is it the customer first or is it technology first? And sometimes it's a bit of a struggle. To deliver better guest service or excellence in guest service, we do need a lot of technological platforms to support it in the background. But at the same time, in most operating hotels, it is a live environment and that transition can often become very, very challenging. I don't think there's any perfect answer as everyday innovation and evolution is driving technology-driven solutions at a very rapid pace, especially in today's pandemic world. The digital experience, in my opinion, is very much a part of the customer journey today. There's no denying it. My best suggestion is for hotels is to adopt a hybrid model, which relies on both technology as well as the human being behind it. At Accor, for instance, we already have AI driving several of our digital front-facing platforms for our guest services. And that's just the reality of it. While that is great for a certain section of our guests, I will always advise as a best practice that we keep people in charge of the technology, not just at the back end of it, but also in terms of being able to monitor it on a real-time live basis and be able to react to it. AI, as you said, has come in. It is rapidly evolving. It's not always perfect. And I think it is up to us in hotels to be able to monitor that and make sure that the end result, experiential result to the customer is spot on. It's up to human beings and only human beings to be in control and ensure that the tech delivers and does not fall short in any way from an overall experience.
The situation that we are in, and it's not very new. The only point is that these last 2 years, we've not been there in person, right? I was just talking to my wife. She just has come back from school. She has 90% attendance in school of kindergarten and nursery levels, right? Physical classes have all opened up. People are all getting there. Life is mercifully, touch wood, coming back to normal. And this is where all the experiments that we have virtually handled over the last 2 years, we shall be able to put to practice and test them out in real life situations. So we must keep this topic alive and take it ahead. Maverik, why don't you take over the show from here? I had to shoot one at you. I'll come back with another few.
Fair enough. Well, let me start with asking a question to Reuben Kataria. Ruben, the entire touchless experience, be it check-in, stay, facilities, and utilities to billing and check-out, how has been the evolution over the last 2 years to where you are today? What, in your view, are the major benefits that technology brings your guests and to your company?
Thank you, Maverick. This question regarding the technology has always been there. It's not a new one since I think the advent of computers. Things have been changing, and I think the last few years, since a lot of companies like Uber and Ola, and then Oyo, everybody, Airbnb, they are all coming together. They're making us realize one thing, that the two most important things for a client or a consumer, or for any company actually for that matter, or business for that matter, is to actually put the guests in the driving seat today. And the second thing is to make things convenient. So all our businesses today are run based on these two parameters. Let the guest decide, rather than we decide. There are hotels and there are apps being developed that they can actually choose their own rooms. They can go to a particular hotel and actually decide what kind of look and feel do they want, whether they want a pool facing or not. And these are the things which are happening now over the last couple of years. This whole touchless experience about mobile check-in, everything had started a couple of years back. The pandemic has really accelerated the thing. And a lot of us have now moved, like contactless check-ins or things like that are basic hygiene now. We're now thinking of how to take this forward. I think the last couple of years of downtime, a lot of hotels have also caught on to this thing. Earlier it was only the 2 or 3 big hotel companies who had their own mobile apps, but a lot of other companies today, all companies, especially like even our own company, they are also looking at using a white label mobile app to kind of get to that, and allowing the customer to not only select a room, but also maybe to WhatsApp messaging, to in-room dining order, even ordering or reserving a spa. So there's a lot of action which has happened over the last couple of years. I think the major impact has also come on the food and beverage industry, because food and beverage was not thinking about QR codes till the pandemic hit. It kind of started. It was already data mining had already begun. So the companies and aggregators were trying to get the data, and the valuations are based on data and how much would they data would they be capturing. But there are now apps which have been developed over the last couple of years, which are allowing people to say what they can order. It is even prompting them to order more, from telling them what are the allergens are, how the dish is going to look like. So there is a fair amount of work which has happened, and I think these changes, in spite of the fact that are necessary. In going forward, even if for a hotel here, while the warmth and everything is there, and then the human touch and element will remain, but these things are kind of going to make it things easier. Like I know for a matter, there is one of the restaurateurs who has actually gone and reduced the staffing because he's now put everything on the card, so that he doesn't have to the guests can order themselves. They can even print their bill themselves. They can send the bill across to them. So yeah, I think there is a lot which has happened in the industry over the last couple of years.
Fair enough. Thank you so much, Ruben. I really liked what you said about digitalization being accelerated over the last 2 years. Who would have thought we would ourselves have seen so much change across the board and seen what we have seen, especially in terms of development of tech solutions, contactless solutions, and so on and so forth.
Yeah.
I also really like what you said about, I did write it down here, human touch will remain. I certainly hope so. I certainly hope so, because our business, hoteliering, is really all about the 5 senses, and any elements missing just takes away the fun from it all, both for us as well as for our guests.
It's going to help. It's going to help us put the things which we actually do at the forefront, which is the hospitality.
Yeah. Thank you.
If you get more time to talk to your customers, and if AI assists, it's fine.
Yeah. All right. Moving on, I want to move to Amandeep Kaur. Amandeep, question for you. What are some of the areas of technology that a hotel should invest in for delivering better customer experiences?
Well, good evening, everyone. A very relevant question, and I guess the most important part before even I start answering is everybody has touched upon no technology will ever change human touch. However, we all know the technology will continue to thrive to create these countless guest experiences at every moment of truth. It has become like a basic need in the consumer journey in hospitality industry now. We spoke that COVID-19 has already accelerated this digital transformation with contactless check-in, check-out, QR codes, enabled menus, etc. However, now the newer technologies are becoming available that could help serve guests or connect hotels more seamlessly, by whether it's a use of cloud services effectively or building an appropriate automation, or maybe it's a use of a collaborated tools for the teams to create a differentiated guest experiences for our hotels. In terms of investment, no matter what, the hotels must engage with technology that enables laser focus on guest experiences. And when we talk about guest experiences, it also includes that the technology is safe, it is efficient, it does create some kind of differentiated services for the guest who is using that or engaging with that technology. And also the technology that we must invest in hotels must ensure that guest is also willingly engage with that technology and is not apprehensive sharing any kind of data. So what I'm talking about is a kind of privacy insurance given to the guest when we are engaging with technologies. In respect of some of the emerging trends and hotels, since the question is very specific to area of technology that the hotel should invest in. Yes, there are some emerging trends and hotels are already making a lot of headways and must continue to evolve with these advancements. To name few, there are facial recognition where guests simply approach a kiosk no need to, now even surpasses the contactless check-in, check-out. Just scan the face, scan their ID, take their keys, and just walks off. I think IoT and wearable devices revolution will continue to grow. So how about investing in a kind of technology where really one doesn't need to have to move on with the key in their hand, and an RFID enabled band is given, and a guest which has a load of information about the hotel. He goes in, scans the hotel room, and gets the access. We know for a fact that Disney World and Great Wall of Lodges are using this technology. The other one, and of course, which everybody smartly and aggressively pursuing, is the smart amenities in the room when we talk about technologies. I think a few years back, ITC was at the forefront when we introduced these iPads in the room. It kind of, was a game changer for the guests to experience that one point contact tab in the room where the guest feel empowered, and the guest could not only control the environment or the ambience or the features in the room sitting at one place in the room. He could also order. The guest could connect with, see the billing, could check out from the iPad. So yes, the smart amenities, I think, is the way forward, where hotels are continuously pursuing, and ITC has done considerable amount of made a headway by introducing this iPads few years back. There's also a huge opportunity where the personalization should be looked into. That's not going to go away anyway. Technology, human touch, personalization is the core of hospitality. So there's an opportunity for personalization by technology where there is more closer and more personalized relationship with the guest as a scale. There are location-based services where one can locate the guest in the hotel, and that allows kind of opportunity to use to capture on those micro moments of the guest. So let's say, for example, a guest is in a bar, and this application is able to detect that where the guest is, and that could receive a push notification about a deal on a drink, or say, hey, we know it's your anniversary, and why don't you just avail this cocktail which is specially curated for you. So that kind of will be a game changer in terms of personalizing using technology. I think another great area which hotels are already making a headway and pursuing are the contactless and contact centers. I think it's kind of a known fact when we spend a guest spends considerable time where the calls are passed between the departments where to reach the correct advisor, and sometimes it so happens that the advisor is not able to even advise on the exact resolution which the guest is looking for. So that is where the automated call handling system technology comes into play. ITC has already introduced at all our units the automated call handling systems are involved via IVRs, and guess what? Now there is a further opportunity to augment these systems with the AI service chat box employing natural language processing. We at ITC has always been, it's a COVID which has accelerated. It's kind of like pushed us to put a pedal on an accelerator. But at ITC, I think we were always at forefront. We never kind of shied away investing in this kind of technology, whether it's to boost our core values, which is around responsible luxury and sustainability, or whether it's to enhance guest experiences like with the use of applications like Welcome Gem. Recent launch of ITC Hotel app is again another step, in this direction, where app empowers. It's one of the kinds. It empowers the guests to explore ITC world, explore through hotels, register and enroll for loyalty members. They can make table reservations. They can do room reservations. So it's like all in one kind of app, which gives a lot of empowerment to the guests. And so that is where I believe the hotels must invest, which is convenient, which is safe. It kind of gives a feeling of empowerment. Mr. Kataria just mentioned, it's like put a guest in a driving seat. And if I have to summarize this, I think with all these recent advances in the technological aspects, and what is the key is to invest in the right technology, and enhance both automated and personal aspects of the guest service, which is also user friendly. Otherwise, this entire purpose of investing in technology itself gets diluted if it's not user friendly. So yeah, that's few of the examples. It is an endless list in this new world and era, but yeah, few to mention. I've just mentioned in my answer.
Thank you, Amandeep. The one key concern of yours that I noted was about privacy, and I think I'm glad you brought this up because I feel very, very strongly about that subject. Animesh, I want to come to you next, and I've got a complicated question for you in two parts. I'm going to try and go slow on this one. While dealing with guests or customers, there could be instances of some technologies being ineffective to deliver the desired customer experience or support with any emotional intelligence requirements that there might be. Can you give us a few examples of how technology could go wrong? And how do you deal with that? What are the advisable measures in such cases when things do go wrong? And the second question I want to ask from you is, has the IT industry and technology that they've brought in delivered to your hotels, and what more would you want done?
Sure. I think well begun is half done. You and Bhuvi have introduced the topic so well, and the crux of this whole topic is, can personalized service ever be replaced by technology? I don't think so. At least I hope not, as you rightly mentioned, Maverik. So to begin with, if whether the technology can, what has gone wrong, let me first say that I'm a strong advocate of having technology, a good technology in place. And I think we are just right at the base of the summit right now with our industry. I think we are lagging behind, and there's so much what Reuben and what Amandeep mentioned. There's so much more to do right now with technology and digitalization. But QR code menus, digital menus, fantastic ideas. But what happens to personalization? What happens to the suggestive selling that was the core of food and beverage? Does a customer get the right idea about the food or the menu that he's ordering? When he's looking at a digital menu. So this is one thing which few of our customers have always felt that these QR code menus or digital menus do not give them the entire experience of personalization when it comes to interacting with a chef or a chef standing there, or a sommelier or a bartender or your maitre d', interacting and suggesting and understanding the preferences. I think that those points are getting missed out in a big way. Contactless check-ins, no doubt it's a great move taken by the hospitality industry. But few days back, I was talking to a friend of mine who manages a resort, and he mentioned, and in fact, Bhuvi also spoke about that, but not working out for resorts because customers' first expectation is we want that people touch, we want that people connection. So, and I feel this contactless thing has become more transactional than interactional. I mean, where guests and customers are not getting that opportunity to transact. So, business hotels, super idea, resorts missing out on the board. Online ordering of food in IRD. So I've heard of some examples that, some hotels have gone too far ahead into their hotels or restaurants have gone too far ahead in technology where you can order through your mobiles and you can place the order. But has the backend also been elevated, this software and the technology been elevated to the level? So a guest sitting in a room thinks that he's already placed an order when things are still, lagging behind. So and that's been a challenge which I feel. Last but not the least, digital reviews today are dominating. There's a far better reach of digital reviews. So there are pros of digital reviews, and there's a huge con of digital reviews as well. And that puts a lot of our brands at stake. And gone are the old age days of the word of mouth, which was old, but had a greater impact. To your question, I mean, what is the advisable measure? I think the fine balance between the technology and personal touch, but at all moments, personal touch should keep ruling the hospitality industry. Or we could actually lose out on customers who lack the digital fluency. I mean, there could be a huge set of customers who are maybe not so sure about the whole digital changes, and we may not realize that they have stopped coming to us because they are not comfortable. They might have the money, but they are not coming to us. So I think that's one of the demerits of it. IT industry, definitely, Maverik. I mean, they are doing their best to cope up, but are they thinking from the customer standpoint? Are they putting themselves into the shoes of a client or a customer? At some time, they too also miss out on the boat. And there's one big challenge which when I speak to a few of the customers and I get to understand is the in-room solutions, the smart solutions, smart room technology that is coming up. There needs to be consistency, Maverik. I feel that a customer goes into a company, gets to use a digital platform which is new to him. He comes for one night. Half of his time goes in understanding the whole system, and he checks out. And next he goes to another company, another hotel, and he finds a different setup of things. So I think there needs to be a consistency in how we put all these technology into perspective.
That's a great insight, Animesh, and I completely agree with you. I also think its technology is great. It's fantastic. It's here to stay. But I think it also needs to take into account different demographics, or for lack of better words, perhaps even senior citizens who come into our hotels, and sometimes it's very challenging using that technology. Moving on to Ravi, I want to ask you this question. How does technology integrate into the customer experience, especially in enabling guests to connect with the brand? And how has technology aided the hospitality business from each standing hotel's standpoint, juxtaposing today with how they were pre-pandemic or perhaps 5 years ago?
Lovely question, ma'am. How much time do I have to answer this? It's a beautiful question.
2.5 minutes, 3 minutes. Let's make it brief and easy.
I mean, let me try to wind up before that. Needless to say, technology is pervasive and now in every aspect of offerings and experience to the luxury and five-star customer. Having said that, the human side of hospitality, the personal touch, the real life engagement will not go away so easily, since man is basically a social animal. Human contact is paramount, and those that manage this well will be the winners in the future. It is those business owners or those hospitality veterans who can marry, or maybe this new generation who can live in together. Technology and human touch are there to stay. Nevertheless, it is important for hospitality brands to take an audit of all the technology touch points with the customers, from the booking experience to check-ins, check-outs, menus at the outlet, reviews, social media, PR, and post-stay experiences. It is important that technology in all these aspects should be seamless and play a connected role. It should represent key brand pillars, making the essence of the experience come alive. Technology used well enhances the memories that travelers create instead of creating barriers. This is critical change actually in the post-pandemic era, where customers are seeking deeper engagement with meaningful brands at each stage of travel and stay experience, as well as using digital and technology far more than before. Even before the customers arrives at the hotel, he is introduced to the brand through technology like augmented reality, where he can actually check the rooms where he's actually going to stay. He can decide on the room where he wants to stay, the media, the PR, creating what we call as a pre-impression, even before the guests can actually experience the property. Those that manage all these aspects well in a seamless way will certainly be rewarded.
Thank you, Ravi. Great points there. Look, I often wonder at what point are we going to have digital fatigue? And I think it's something to ponder over. Lakshmanan, I want to come to you next with a really interesting question. Technology is evolving at a pace that couldn't have been foreseen, especially in the last 2 years. In a fiercely competitive world of hoteliering, we are all getting different technologies, different apps, and perhaps at a very latent level, we are trying to outdo each other as well, in the interest of customer service and experience. How does that? What do you think that does to hotel companies in terms of the stress on their purchasing ability, or the need to constantly upgrade and move forward and stay on top of their game?
I hope my owners are watching this as well. I think this question is more relevant. Most often discussed when you go with an upgrade of a technology or a system. It is rapidly evolving, and there is no two ways about it, and all of us are in it. Today's customer, it is not only in hotels. Technology is part of everyone's life, and when you come into a hotel, you may find a new technology today, but not in a matter of years, even in a matter of months. By the time you finish implementing, you're already outdated and due for the next upgrade, and that's pretty much that's the phase that it is evolving in. And the spectrum of technology in a hotel, what a customer experiences, I think Ravi mentioned, even before somebody has mentioned from the panelists, even before a guest checks into the hotel, you've experienced the technology that the hotel is already throwing at you. Apart from the human touch that we keep stressing on at this point in time. Whether it's integrated check-in systems, improving the contactless check-in that much has been spoken about, automated loyalty programs, even before you check in, for you to be able to choose the room that you're going to stay in or the view that you're going to take over an app that is available today. Real-time chat to be able to get immediate feedback rather than waiting for a response of an email. Mobile contactless check-ins. I think Amandeep mentioned for you to be able to get to a room, use your mobile phone to be able to check in, and not just a key card anymore. In-room technologies, gadgets. I think we spoke about, and Animesh mentioned about multiple versions of these gadgets existing in different hotels, and customers or guests, finding it difficult to get access to, especially short stays, right? When you stay for a night, half day goes in figuring out what works, what doesn't work with which button. And these are things, and today one of the new things is the OTT. How many of us watch your regular television? When you go to a hotel and you would want your Netflix or Amazon Prime, that is what you're fluid onto now. In the F&B space, again, that has grown, multiple layers now. In terms of every time you go in, there's a new technology that's coming. Contactless menus. One thing that I really like about the technology, apart from the human touch that we need to preserve, is the efficiency that it brings in. In terms of real-time communication, real-time passing of messages. Yes, there is the flip side of it. Or sometimes the orders don't get recorded in the kitchen when it is punched from a guest in the room. But those napunas as being done are really great. I think this needs to be focused upon. Apart from this, there is also back-end systems and technology, not just guest front one that is constantly in need of upgrades, right? They keep evolving, new versions are available, whether it is finance or HR, back-end, and really, when I say back-end, really back-end, not just guest interface one. Honestly, by the time you finish upgrading something in a matter of a few months or a few years, just a few years, you're up for something else. Is there a need to stress upon? Definitely yes, because you want to be competitive. You want to make sure the customer feels comfortable when they get to a hotel, because they are already experiencing technology in their own life. When you don't want to get into a hotel and then feel outdated, or from another hotel and you're feeling the challenge of being able to get that efficient service that we're talking about, without losing the human touch, obviously, without taking that away. So that sums it up. I think the need, yes, for sure, without losing the human touch.
So what's your view on how you cope with so many reviews? How do you handle them, manage them, especially with some quarters now talking about reviews being managed through specialists, which don't always mirror ground realities? What are your views on this, and what's your experience with online reviews and their management?
Yes, so the question has a couple of parts, so I would like to answer first. Who responses in the hotel? For me, it's the review or reputation management of the reviews are very important, and it is the head of the commercial team, and within my office, we primarily respond to all the reviews of the hotel. No, I don't think that responses can be manipulated. Reviews cannot be managed. Responses can be, in the template forms, but nobody used that anyway because your score suffers. Independent review management sites have gone smarter and violations can be easily tracked and unearthed. So it's not anybody's game to manipulate the responses anyways. My two bits on being a quality champion of Hilton India tells me that the best way to improve the review site scores will be through creating touch points during every step of guest journey and make moments pleasantly memorable for guests. And that will help to follow the positive reviews. Other than that, the rate of response, that is the review response of neutral, negative, as well as positive review, and the response time, which ideally should be below 48 hours preferably, plays an important role towards the score if you are worried about the scores. And also, please understand, while you can push for the scores, as a general manager, the text analytics play a major role to understand the problems and the resolution offer. It's not only about the score, but the text analytics, which is very important. Nowadays, there is an integrated solution to manage all the reviews. Like, for example, there is Medallia, which helps you to integrate and respond and cover the responses from one single platform, which is very easy. It saves a lot of time. Responses, as I said, responses can be managed, but reviews cannot be managed. Independent review management sites have gone smarter, and violations can be easily tracked and unearthed. So that's my views about the ratings and reviews and reputation management.
Thank you, Ruben. Thank you. That was, I think, quite very well explained. I would like to move straight on to Reuben Kataria once again, just to take away that confusion onto which Reuben I was talking to.
Yeah, thank you.
Even though human interactions remain superior in a customer experience journey, some people may believe that technology will replace the human workforce in the future. We get lots of these robot memes, for instance, replacing human beings. Is it really a threat to job opportunities in the future, or does it enhance, complement the human workforce's output?
I think the answer lies in the reason why people go to hotels and how we hire. The people go to the hotels to enjoy their stay. They want to meal in a particular way. They want their rooms to be aligned in a particular way. All these things make sure that there is no challenge to job security. The other very good part is the way we hire people. We hire people who have empathy, who have intuitiveness, who have warmth. They understand the sense of urgency. All those things, again, are not AI enabled. We can put things together to assess the guests, and I think Amandeep and Animesh, in their own ways, kind of came up with the number of solutions and the problems which could actually be, which could come up. But primarily a hotel is a home away from home. You come there to enjoy various things, and of course, the AI makes things easier. From both the consumer perspective as well as the employee perspective. I think where AI is going to impact is the revenue. You end up, it's a repetitive job, which kind of also can learn from the trends and the history and the quality of information which comes out from a revenue perspective. Through an AI can be actually much better because it's not based on gut feel, but based on strong facts. And the other thing is the sales. I was in Egypt, and at one point of time, I saw that the OTA business was much more than any other business in the city. While a travel agent had to put a flight together to get people into the city, an individual wasn't really bound by a travel agent. He had that freedom to choose and freedom to exercise and say, listen, I can book my, and then I can figure out my flight route. So, from a sales perspective, because we are giving away, and more, we're giving away the handle in the hand of, the consumers. I think it's very, that's one area where I think AI will help, because AI can, kind of figure out what a customer is looking for. Things which we are not privy to. You are looking at various things and various sites, and the Google Analytics is already telling you, okay, this is the best bet for you, or a booking engine is telling you this is the best bet for you, and putting those choices already up on his search engine, which is obviously, this is where the sales come in. However, is it going to be a threat to the sales managers? No, because let's see, retail is only one part of our business. The corporate food, FIT, and then the MICE and the leisure are all, additional. So while OTA business is obviously, helping, and all our hotels are right now focusing on trying to get a brand.com to kind of function at the highest level. I think AI can assist there as well. Like Leela Hotels has launched their new app, which is quite intuitive. So that kind of helps. You can load videos, you can load reviews, you can load testimonials, you could kind of create a content which can kind of then help a Google Analytics to pick that better. So I don't think so. We all need to worry. We are in good space.
That's outstanding. So it's all about collaborating, with technology and making sure all of us continue to be relevant and work together. Amandeep, I want to come to you next. I quickly wanted to ask you, what is the role of technology partners and expert service advisors in handling both the automated as well as personal aspects of guest service, and the know-how on how to fuse the two together to optimize hotel businesses?
That's the interesting one, and are largely covered also, I think, with all the expert panelists. I think with all the recent advances in this subject matter, some experts ask, and that is what even we are discussing, will people still be able to make a difference? Or we are really entering a brave new world where self-service or intelligent communication platforms completely take over. I think the answer or the solution is finding the right balance between high tech and high touch, and that is the role of a technology partners who comes up with the solutions which are advanced in nature. So while the technology, as we all agree, will not replace a commitment to service excellence, the key to discover how advanced technology can assist in handling both the automated and personal aspect of the guest service is the expectations from these expert advisors in this subject matter. Guest and service centricity will always be the key for any technology partner to introduce any automation or software successful in hospitality. And of course, I mentioned this before as well, that privacy while using this technology, software, application, AI, is paramount importance. Otherwise, our guests would not engage with this. However, it will stay as a basic need, and that is where we will invite the guest dissonance. So the expectations from these technology partners is to bring in that confidence with this technology to that privacy, that it is more inclusive, and the data collected on any pretext from these guests are safeguarded. They are in safe custodies. I think the whole idea is to keep the experience real, efficient, and user-friendly, not to lose the human touch, reiterating that the guests, which are human beings, are still being served by humans. at all the key moments. And each automation and software that we deploy at our respective hotels must be able to integrate themselves with the existing service designs, which have been beautifully working over the decades for the hotels to create the guest delightful moments. So these technologies should be able to integrate them. So what I'm saying is that the expectations or the role of these technology partners is to be flexible. The product should be customizable, and that is extremely important. And, to summarize, I think for hotels, it's not about investing every new piece of hospitality technology that comes into the market. I think it's about investing the right solution for the business. And as our industry is slowly shifting from the legacy system in favor of more of intuitive options, which Mr. Kataria also mentioned, I think it's important that all of us vet prospective platforms and partnerships with care. And we must decide before we move forward with this technology, that what is needed by the staff or your guest where you're investing in the technology versus the technology that is just nice to have. So thank you. That's my answer to it.
Thank you. Real, efficient, and user-friendly is my takeaway from what you said, and that's very well put. I would like to add to it, perhaps priced better, costed better for all of us to be early adopters for technology as well. Thank you again. Animesh, I want to come to you next. The last 2 years have acted as a catalyst to the industry-wide implementation of various digital platforms that offer contactless experiences across all areas. Hotels are still expected to provide personalized service without many of the physical touch points associated with the traditional hospitality model. What does the post-pandemic landscape look like for hoteliers when it comes to technology, guest experience, and operational excellence?
Well, in short, I would say the post-pandemic landscape looks awesome. I think each one of us working in this industry are desperate to get our customers back, first of all. New normal is going to stay. People's expectations will be different from what it was a few years back. Technology was always setting into this industry, but these 2 years have actually just kind of fueled the fire and getting all the hotel companies to do a health check of their digital and technology platforms. So to your question, I think it's going to be a fantastic blend of technology and personalized service. And being in India, I feel that our stalwarts in this industry are not going to let this whole personalized service and people-centric operation let go. I think that's the future of our industry. And to keep it short, I would repeat like a broken record that I think future is great for us. Thank you.
That's a lot of positivity. Thank you, Animesh. Ravi, I want to come to you with a question. We are slightly on a tight schedule, so a quick one for you, and just perhaps 2 minutes there. Today's hoteliers have a variety of technological advancements at their fingertips, offering a myriad of solutions to streamline operations and enhance guest experiences. How, according to you, can emerging technologies transform the future of hospitality? What's your view on that?
And I'm sure we all believe that technology has made the room for smoother operation management and a flow to the system behind the scene. However, it is important, though, that any technology-based operation system has a plan B. The technology system has to be backed up by a human system so that in case of a breakdown, the experience is not damaged in any way. Because end of the day, hospitality is all about people. So that streamlining operations has been great benefit to the technology solutions available in the marketplace today. And we will all agree that technology to an extent has helped a lot of general managers, and it has made our life a little easier. I mean, it is also enables us to measure our current processes. It gives us feedbacks. It enables us to look at the feedbacks of our guests. In fact, Kaur has wonderful system, Trust You, which actually gathers all the feedbacks from different avenues like TripAdvisor, Google, Make My Trip, Booking.com, Voice of the Guest, and collates it all and puts it in front of you on a platter with a single dashboard where you can see which are the areas which are doing excellent and which are the areas which are opportunities for improvement. These are some fantastic things in the process front which can help, the technology can help us. When it comes from the guest fronts, we all know that, as I mentioned earlier, augmented reality, which helps us experience the property, the premises around the property well before you can actually come and experience it physically. The voice assistant, which is the new in, where with the pandemic, where you don't have to literally touch anything, you can just say, Alexa or Google, just put on the light, put off the light, connect me to the concierge, book a cab. And it's that easy. The cloud system, in fact, recently, again, for the pandemic, the cloud system, which we are working on, the eye auditor really helped us because, as we all know, hygiene is so important for us in the current pandemic scenario. So Kaur has taken the help of Bureau Veritas and with their guidelines, managed to form a stringent guideline and follow the most stringent hygiene practices. An eye auditor actually helped us to go area by area, real time, take evidences, make sure that it is being followed. And this can be actually virtually checked across people sitting, maybe whether it is Middle East or whether it is Delhi, they can check that real time, whether the audits are happening properly and validating that. So it's a fantastic thing which technology has done for the guest, done for the operations. And many more such technologies have come, and all set of transformation, and these are the set of transformation which is future for the hospitality. As trends emerge and new technology is established, customers start to expect a certain level of experience and they want the convenience associated. If your business falls to meet these experiences, it is likely that customers will be disappointed. This could then in turn lead to negative reviews and damage their reputations.
All right. Lakshmanan, I've got a really interesting one for you. Given the general and global acceptance of online and a digital way of life, how have hotels' own direct booking platforms performed and delivered? And what more do you think we should all do?
Good question. It's an interesting one, actually. That is something that is tracked. I'm going to keep it really short. I know we're running tight in time. The key difference of bookings on hotel booking platforms versus an OTA or any other platform is the cost of acquisition, cost of customer acquisition, where it comes with an attached cost versus what is being booked for a hotel. From a customer perspective, I think the customer aims to gain a lot more benefits when booked directly. But why wouldn't somebody go to a different platform? Is because it gives you perspective or a comparison of multiple players in one place, or a bundled package that one gets in that they don't get in a hotel website or a hotel app. I think that's the key two differences. Hotels will continue to push direct booking. Larger players will have that a lot more easier because your distribution will be much larger, visibility will be much larger. Smaller players, smaller cities where the brands are not well known, when a customer is trying to travel to that destination, they would have to go to these platforms to figure out what's available. For example, let's say at the Marriott, the loyalty program will play a larger play in making sure that they're coming back to your own hotel direct booking platform, because then one, distribution supports the case because you have a hotel everywhere as much as possible in most cities. And when you book directly, you also get, the loyalty program gives you points, reward points, or various, whether it's Marriott, I'm sure the other brands as well. When you book to an OTA site, you don't get those benefits, whether it's a rate benefit or an upgrade or a recognition for that matter. So none of this comes through that platform. The other platform gives you the comparison of various available options, but hotels will continue to push direct booking because that's cost effective. Retaining customers is obviously, loyalty is big for any hotel for that matter. I'm sure each hotel brand is monitoring and chasing this number to increase the direct booking percentages from what I can say 20 to 25% plus onwards.
Thank you. So it's about coexistence and hopefully there's enough space out there for everyone.
All right. Thank you, Lakshman. Salman is ready. Sorry, Maverik. slight confusion. Salman, can you bring in tomorrow's show? So we have a wonderful show tomorrow where Rajiv Menon, who's the President Asia Pacific, which is called APEC for Marriott International, he will be with me at 5 p.m. sharp. Be there. Watch out for the episode of BWH Dialogues, where I bring in Rajiv Menon. Be there, please.
No worries at all. This is the last question of the day for Reuben Das. Reuben, with respect to dining in, online ordering for food and food delivery models in food and beverage, what is your view? Has been significant ups and downs, or let's say, what do you think are the significant ups and downs of this digital way of life, and what's its impact on the food and beverage vertical? What are your views on it?
Maverik, this question is like a deja vu to me, because 5 years back when I became the general manager of a competitor hotel to your hotel, I went to meet you because you were mentoring me at some point of my career. So I thought that it is a great opportunity to meet you and learn from you a little bit about the business. And I would like to congratulate you in this forum that you had that vision that 5 years ago, your food and beverage offerings were there on all delivery platforms, which was very new to our country. And I came back to my hotel and I asked whether the same can be replicated. And obviously, at that point of time, the kind of offerings we were offering, we did not have the vision to put it or partner with a third-party delivery platform provider. Pandemic has changed all that. You know, all that attitude of not having the e-commerce platform onboarding. It was a question of sustainability. And I think all the brands, all across, most of the brands, I would not say all the brands, had joined third-party delivery apps and learned a new way of doing business. It was, in fact, a light at the end of a tunnel, because it helps to earn a bit of revenue. I would say pandemic has permanently put a third segment of food and beverage market. I would say how we say in-house, walk-in, and we say deliveries now. You know, it has to be given that importance. As you have food and beverage strategies for in-house and walk-in guests, you need to have food and beverage strategies, particularly for B2B and B2C level of deliveries. B2C is obviously with a service provider, and B2B with aggregators, which have now emerged all of a sudden out of this situation, and the change in the consumer behavior habits. For me, it is all positive. I mean, I can see that a couple of hotel chains, a very established one within our country, were put to move with their own app or food delivery app. Others still are white labeling with the market aggregators. For hotels, the future developments will see definitely a customized app for hotels like Hilton or other international branding. Loyalty points will be linked with e-commerce, earn and burn sort of a thing, which will aid to the delivery because we have that, the loyalty basis. We will see a huge improvement in packaging quality. Both aesthetics, sustainability, and functionality will have to be looked upon. I see improvement in delivery process. People, time, and logistical support using last mile connectivity partners. As hotels, we would like to see more organized structure of last mile connectivity partners to do our self-delivery, rather than depending on the aggregators. Hygiene ratings will play an immense role in the wake of pandemic, and rankings in these deliveries in future will perhaps utilize a 5-star classified hygiene place ahead of others. That should be a benchmarking process, and that is already a practice in the West.
We have less than 2 minutes to close. Ruben, sorry for this, but no. I want to shoot one last one. at our moderator, Maverik. Long question. I need a quick, short response from you. With the surfeit of technology solutions on the table, this one is what Aman spoke about. She was talking about data security and where does it lie? Who all have access to it? What happens to it, right? So with the surfeit of technology solutions on the table for the hospitality industry or hotels per se, there are certain capacities that need to be built in terms of data security. A lot of data is being mined, but where is it being stored? Who is handling it? Or how many hands does it pass through or go by is not known. What else do we do to secure the data from going into wrong hands?
Quick answer and in exactly 4 points. You'll be surprised how quick this is going to be. Number one is training for all employees who have access to data and keep your data secure. Cloud is good, but cloud may not be good enough, especially when it comes to sensitive data. Restrict access to data and mean business. Be sharp about it because there are several legal ramifications for our businesses, not just in India, but also with other countries from where we get our guests. Lastly, be aware of changing legislation. Privacy is a huge concern and it's a growing concern. We've already seen massive changes happen across Atlantic as well as in the Pacific. Lastly, as an industry, I know we are making progress towards it, but I would love to see more consistency across the board with adopting the payment card industry security standards across all our hotels, especially with a myriad of payment gateways and digitalization of currency. Was that short for you, Bhuvanesh?
That was very quick. And
Thank you.
was very right. Yeah, a lot needs to be done. People need to be sensitized. And more than anything else, in today's day and age, where this commodity is pretty restricted, we need to be honest. We need to be honest with ourselves.
Great.
Right? Honesty comes at a price. There were times when we grew up, honesty was not up for discussion because it was always there. All right. Thank you so much. It's been a wonderful session. A session very close to my heart. A whole lot of sessions are close to my heart. But this one I'd been thinking of for a while. Because, like, I don't know who said that. There are elders, there are people who are from the previous generation. They're not very savvy with mobile applications or technology. We surely don't want a situation where they stop traveling to hotels or stop going for holidays. Having said that, Maverik, you've been such a revelation. You've been a great moderator, right? Thank you for holding this show together. Great oration, great timing. We've almost finished in time. I know Amandeep has to go. It has to be a hard stop. But the next show, which is next Thursday, 24th of February, is about transforming guest experience, the ultimate business growth lever, right? Let me repeat. It'll be again in the South, transforming guest experience, the ultimate growth lever, business growth lever. Thank you so much for being there. Let me start with the lady of the show, Amandeep. You were magnificent. Thank you for being there. Thank you for your time. Ruban Kataria, the Devanor from Bangalore. Thank you for being there, Ruben. We have to see your hotel. Lakshmanan, Ramanathan, look to see you soon. Thank you. You came in all the way from Chennai. Well, Chennai is far from Delhi, but yeah. Reuben Das, again, Chennai. Thank you. Sorry, I had to cut short your answer, right? Your response. Don't mind. Don't hold that against me. Ravi Rai, Vizag, I'm coming there soon, right? Thank you for being there. Animesh Bharat. Excellent responses. All of you. You were good, Animesh. Thank you. Thank you all once again. Be there with us. Keep watching out for BW Hotelier.